last time, and
I feel like we have to kill vampires. Like,
yeah.
I mean, we finished
I was
the
dead
stuff at the nightclub.
That's right.
Steve.
That's right. You were gone, weren't you?
Yeah, I wasn't here.
Okay.
Yeah, she didn't have a chance to attempt to murder your NPC like you stopped us from.
You did not get a chance to meet Ambrose. And
someone put me to sleep.
Yeah, and be really pissed off at him for completely stealing your shtick.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
He put us all to sleep.
That's right.
Music.
Well, as we reminisced yesterday, Jaren, Vanya did sock him in the face for saying namaste too many times.
Yeah, because I actually wrote that down in my notes. I don't know. I thought it was relevant somehow.
The cultural appropriation police.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I mean, technically he's Greek anyways, but like he's the worst. He's the worst, like, shitty California white boy you've probably ever met. So
that certainly takes a lot to.
Everybody loves Ambrose except for all the people that hate Ambrose. Basically, all the girls that he has around him that are high all the time really like Ambrose. His lotus eaters. What is that?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Well, are the
women on the island don't eat it. They just bring men there and then make them eat it and fuck them.
Yeah, I didn't know if there was I didn't remember if there was a name for the women.
That's Cersei's island. That's separate. The Lotus Eaters are like a cult of people that just keep eating the lotuses, and they all get.
There's too many. There's too many of these places.
Well, these bitches are high,
they kept running out of stories and just reusing the same shit.
Whoever them is, they're high. So
yeah,
cool.
Yeah, they're high. He's got the good drugs, and so he's their favorite person. Anybody else that isn't blitzed out of their mind can't stand him.
Was there any retaliation you maybe wanted to attempt before Jaren pushes forward, leaving that chapter behind? Yeah.
No, go ahead.
One of us is on top of the other.
I'm just gonna be brute. I'll be a broody anime chick for a minute.
The main things that happened were we finished the fight in the nightclub, which ended with all of us falling asleep. Apparently, it put a lot of detail about Vanya pulling out different weapons out of her purse to like increasingly hurt people. And Nate Scorpion the thug.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's right. Oh, come over here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Danny and Tuco were fighting but not really hurting each other because Danny is the immortal Iron Fist, I guess, and Tuco was just not rolling well or something.
Because Danny's the immortal Iron Fist and and Tuco is a freaking gangrel, so he's got lots of fortitude.
That's right.
So just them constantly punching each other back and forth and not really doing any damage to each other.
Yeah, and then
oh god! Oh, this isn't really dangerous at all.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I made myself look like Giovanni to start some shit, so it makes it seem like they're all fighting each other.
That's true.
Nice.
That's right.
And then I got Ambrose to play along with it and be like, no, he was really here.
and Ken totally decapitated some vampires, so that was fun.
Yeah.
When we woke up, we were in Laz A. Russ's office, which is where we found out he was actually Ambrose and that Nate knows him, which was like a whole thing. And he annoyed us a lot, I think.
Like, bro, just you gotta chill. You gotta go with the flow, man.
Nate let out a very, very heartfelt sigh when realizing who that was.
Probably more than one.
Oh god damn it!
It's like, ugh.
And we found out that he basically he cut a deal with a vampire so he could keep running his club because he likes his club, but he doesn't really care for the vampires necessarily. So we just said, well, we're going to take care of those. So, be cool with us after that, and we won't totally destroy you later.
He's very chaotic neutral. He just wants to run his club, bro. and
Yeah.
he's not technically on his own strong enough to deal with all the vampires, so he just cuts a deal with them so that they leave him alone and don't kill off all of his patrons.
Yeah, and then he can just cut a deal with us, I guess. But anyway, Jay told him to say that Laszlo was behind the attack on Tuco, and he agrees because Laszlo is a dick.
That's right.
Yes.
And I made sure to look like Laszlo, so I planted those seeds. I think I terrified a couple waitresses too.
I'm not sure why, but Moon Knight asked for a shitload of lotus and put it in his pockets. And then we see
Moon Knight asked for a shitload of lotus because Moon Knight is Moon Knight, and he's still trying to deal with the fact that he's a literal comic book character that has come to life.
Yeah.
So, drugs.
He's gonna need some lotus.
He's like the worst Santa Claus with like his whole stash of drugs in a big sack.
Yeah, pretty much.
So then we had greasy waffles and then went home.
Yep.
The end. That's all I got.
Greasy waffles.
Yeah, the night did end at basically a Waffle House. So
Yeah, we are the worst Avengers remake because instead of like shawarma, it's just Denny.
Yeah, that was true in Dresden too.
look, man, sometimes you need grandstand.
It was Denny's and IHOP.
Sometimes the only way to heal after a fight is a moon's over my hammy.
You gotta tell me twice.
That's what I used to get.
You say that, Jaren, and my body knows it.
I was always a big fan of the breakfast Dagwood, and then they got rid of that, and I was very upset.
Moon's over my hammy Sammy is
That's
my go-to.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that's always nice.
Oh, John. Oh.
Yep.
Nice.
That moment of silence.
Wow.
Oh, I can't remember I think the last time I went to Denny's was actually with Megan.
When did we go to Denny's?
Like a fucking million years ago.
That makes
Holy shit.
I think before you were with Jaren.
I think we went to Denny's when we were in Florida once.
That's the nicest place you
I
can
see
find
the
it.
last
We went was when
Bob Evans.
We went
Well,
to
the last time we got Denny's
we were-
was at blood work. It was not that long
It
ago.
was not that long ago.
Yeah, I've moved to IHOP.
In Orlando.
Yeah, at like after we went to Universal for the.
Heck do I?
I don't remember. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Either way,
Yeah.
but so it's been a week.
Oh, hey.
You guys,
Outside and-
yeah, so you guys finished off all of that stuff last time as we recapped, and took a little bit of time to kind of, recover / take stock of of everything that's going on, and it's been about a week. It's Friday again, and it's Friday again, and the week has been relatively calm. You guys brought Danny back with you to go see Stan, because now, well, there's another one rolling around.
Oh, God.
Right.
And you all have kept up with your patrols, putting in good hero work around the city. At least anybody who wishes that that's a thing. Anybody who that's a thing that they would do. That's one of the things you guys have been doing, helping your other friends.
I got multiple things to do out at night.
I was like, I just go out and scare people into not being idiots.
Yeah, helping Peter, Andrea, and Sam, and all of them, and Moon Knight, who you didn't see for a couple of days after he left. And when he came back, he was surprisingly clear-headed and a little cleaner and didn't smell as bad. So he might have gotten himself a little bit righter. But Yeah, it's been about a week, and everything has been kind of quiet, especially on the vampire front. You haven't really dealt with any of their thugs and goons. As a matter of fact, like some of the crime that some people in the city have been complaining about has actually seemed to taper a little bit, mostly because they're afraid of this random hobo showing up and shooting them. So. Yeah, so it's Friday morning. You guys are in the hotel, and yeah, pretty much. You guys have been kind of trying to figure out what your next step was. You know that you still had contact with Laszlo, and you have Malcolm. You have also not invites, but you have contact with Malcolm Landau, but you haven't gotten any sort of like concrete, hey, come meet us, do this thing right now. So you're still kind of in a little bit of a holding pattern, or at least on that front. But it is morning, and it is you are at the hotel in the suite, and the air is thick with smoke inside the apartment as the Einherjar has decided to roast another pig. Still not really certain where they got a whole pig in the middle of New York City, but you've learned not to question it yet.
Yeah. Central Park.
Yeah, it's Central Park. Yeah, there's the classic pig farm in the middle of Central Park.
Right.
Totally.
You
Yeah.
didn't even have to leave the apartment complex. You just get them in.
You do know this is like the after times. There's totally a pig farm in North Central Park now.
I mean, it's probably just wild pigs roaming.
The apocalypse has happened. The pigs are free. Let's go.
It's Long Island. The entirety of Long Island has been taken over by wild boar.
Wild hogs.
30 to 50 wild hogs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
but
you
those
go-
are too
you
hard
go
to
to-
catch, so they just steal them from the zoo.
Yeah. You go to
I'm
pick
gonna
up your
plug
mail
in quick,
and
but one of Jay's people, the one I commandeered is Lucas.
Yes.
Okay, just thank you. Just making sure. I was like, shit, what's his name?
I constantly forget the names of everybody in that group except for Lucas. Lucas is the only one that I ever remember.
Might be in
You're
character for
welcome.
you to not remember his name. That sounds funny.
well, he's an ascended bit player, so
He's
you know.
different now.
I bet.
In case anybody, I would like to remind you that in case anybody forgot that you do still have a dead woman in a box.
Yeah.
He's not dead.
No, she is in fact dead, but
She's dead.
It's part of the van, you know.
It's our hood ornament now. She's
Over
just
now.
part of it.
it is not a thing it's not a thing you absolutely have to take care of. I just want to make sure people don't forget that you do in fact have a dead woman in a box.
Well, it's
Yeah.
Ryan's friend. And
I
I
think
know
it has
if I
to do
pull
with
the
that.
steak out of her chest, she's going to eat one of us. So,
I feel like if she wasn't Vanya's friend, we probably would have dragged the box on our balcony and just opened it up at some point.
It's over.
yeah.
But then just like set whatever's in there on fire and
Well,
send her off.
You don't even need to. If you set it outside, nature will run its
Oh, I see.
course.
That's right.
That's true, yeah.
Yep.
So it's morning time, and the Einherjar is roasting a hog, and what are all you up to?
Aren't we supposed to be killing somebody?
Yeah, I'm curious about this week-long situation. Like, don't we know where Fat Tony is? Like, I feel like this group gets bored easily and would have just tracked down there
I
one
mean,
night and been
I
like,
just have things to do. I
Scott
and
Pilgrim.
people.
do this.
So that's kind of the issue, and part of why the week long like you guys haven't really been able to do much for the week is that since the big fight where a whole shitload of people beat up a bunch of vampires very publicly, you guys, like, all of your information, all the contacts, yeah, basically everything went cold. And so you guys haven't really been able to Peter and Andrea and all them, they haven't been able to find better leads for you guys, and any of the leads that you guys had previously at least haven't really come to fruition. Even pushing forward, trying to find things, but it seems like everything has gone to ground because hey, there's somebody who can actually pose us a threat now is kind of just out there. Also, there's the whole bit with the news of everything that happened at the homeless shelter has now slightly come to light. So, that's one major vampire. What's that?
Don't eat the cake.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, the only two that we know about at this point are Laszlo. Wait, is he dead? Did he die?
No,
you just pretended to be him.
That's right.
But we don't know who he is, or we do.
I don't know that we know where their hideout is. We just know their roles within the organization.
And we can always just, go to the museum and kick around there.
Yeah, that's right. Nate did have a lead for this dude. That's Landau, right?
Yeah, the only two left here is Landau and Laszlo.
We haven't busted up the museum yet.
So you're to start wrecking shit oh hey,
culture now.
That's right. Well, I think we're more going to be like the fucking Sex Pistols than cultured people.
Yeah, I like this pistol.
I was like, after being outdone in her shtick, Ari's been she's been a little emo bitch for a little bit. She just wants to sit in the corner and her bass doesn't sound like a samisen anymore. It just sounds like a bass, and it's just.
You're not even playing it with your hands. You're just playing it telekinetically.
Yeah. Stupid.
That's fine. We'll hang out. We'll sit on the balcony and, well, Ari doesn't smoke, but Jay will smoke cigarettes in silence.
Yeah.
So, Jaron, has the museum still been operating regular?
The museum operates more like it's there to hold onto artifacts and things like that.
So they don't have a public.
Yeah, it's become more of a. It's become more of a repository of things that are important than a place where the public could just go and look at stuff because that whoever was running the museum at the time that all the shit went down decided that we don't really need to manage or to keep allowing the public to come in and look at stuff that could potentially be good for stealing and trading in a post-apocalypse. So they locked it down, and now that it's gotten a little bit more civil here over the years, it's now kind of come back to just being here we're gonna store cultural artifacts and things like that here, and you can come in and look at them with go and look at them by appointment and things like that. So still there to see stuff and still there for collecting purposes, but not really for just casual weekend go. We just go. I'm gonna go to the museum today.
If nothing else, maybe there'll be stuff that would be interesting for us. Who knows what they collect there?
I was gonna say, who knows how many cursed items are in that place?
Right.
Sure.
I would say if Jay says this, Ari finally perks up and goes, "Do we need to break in somewhere?"
I mean, I'm always up for a good break-in.
I can do that.
A little bit. He's like, if that's fine. if Ari looks at him in any because she's been so emo, he's kind of like, I can just get. No, it's fine. And then just goes back to sipping his coffee.
She looks like weirdly manic, like, I need this.
Yeah. He's silently drinking for several hours. You're not sure. You've never seen him get up to refill his coffee cup, but it must have happened because he's still drinking it.
Nice. That's practical because, like, going to the Starbucks is dicey. There's like boars down there.
Apparently.
They're still wearing the barista outfits, but they're really rude. They don't, and they always mess up your order. Like they always give you like one less shot of espresso than you really want.
They keep spelling my name wrong.
Right.
They let the espresso die in the cup.
Oh, that's a cardinal sin.
Yeah.
I asked them to give me foamed milk, and they just charge me with their tusks. I'm not really sure what this is. This is terrible customer service.
They're still wearing the barista outfits, but one of them sits out front with a shotgun now.
And 1 star on Yelp.
I'd give it no stars, but it won't let me.
Exactly.
The foam was good.
Clean bathrooms.
What's the other thing? Like, your only connection with Giovanni was how to get a drop to him, like his dead drop, right?
At this point, I'm just fucking with him. Like, my overarching plan is that I'm trying to make it seem, because he's the second in command, so I'm trying to make it seem like he's trying to take over. So Fat Tony will be suspicious of him.
But apparently that hasn't done anything, I guess.
Well, who knows? They've gone the ground. Like, for all we know, they're in their lairs listening to Bauhaus and socking each other in the face.
That's another thing that is another thing that has occurred to you is the fact that since you did pop up as Laszlo or as Giovanni at the club, seemingly on the side of all of these chuckleheads, that has probably thrown a bit of a wrench into their plans. So. Or at least into whatever they were trying to do beforehand. So yeah, like I said, so it's daytime, and yeah, you guys are kind of free to figure out what you want to do. If you want to go the route of the museum, you can go the route of the museum. We can figure that out, or you can do more. Exploring, or you can manage any of the other stuff that you guys have currently, just like
Ari's gonna go case the museum.
Well, I feel since we haven't messed with that museum portion yet, and
Well, Nate's the only one who's been there.
at least Jay would be of the mind of the more time we give them, the more time they have to get back on their feet. So if we're gonna destabilize this,
Well, yes,
probably
we can cause some trouble over there, and they'll have to come out of the little hidey holes.
and that's a different point. So we can go poke at it and see what shakes loose.
I like poking at things.
How your brand works.
A little bit.
Yep.
Actually, to that point, Sally, Danny has contacted you, but he's been weirdly distant for Danny over the past week or so, or over the past week.
You only text once a day?
Yeah, no, it's more like it's like he only texts once an hour, so. As opposed to,
Not quite the blow-ups I'm used to.
yeah. You're like, man, is he doing okay? And because he only texts you like once an hour to tell you that he loves you, and so. But he's dealing with some stuff because now he is the protector of Kunlun. So
Once in a while, you get a selfie of him like this.
And I'm not sure how I feel about this because I'm like,
I think it's more like he tries to take a mirror selfie in his bathroom, but the mirror's too high up, so he's just crouching on the toilet seat to take the picture in the mirror.
Or he does the timer, but he always seems to get it wrong. So he's like, so they're always blurry because he's still kind of moving to get into the
Yep.
He's got a half blur on part of his body. Nice.
His left arm is a vampire.
well, I guess at some point I'll send him a nice, like, appropriately filtered selfie that is like fairly best.
That he appreciates all of those things. So,
But I don't know. I just like, if he needs me, he needs me. If he doesn't, that's fine. I've got plenty of other friends.
Friends.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you guys want to deal with the museum then?
Yes, Peter.
Sure.
Relationship status went from boyfriend to #1 subscriber.
That's right.
I mean, kind of.
Right.
Sends me exclusive lewds.
Auto renew on OnlyFans.
That's a relationship status.
Ari's excitedly tying her hair into pigtails and putting the ribbons back in her hair. Like, we're gonna go case the joint.
That's right. We're gonna commit crimes.
Ooh, I'll have to get out one of my
I've been
crime.
doing too much good lately, guys. I gotta do something fun. Lucas, get the bike. I'm not ready for that, man.
It's probably in the living room, so you're fine.
That was probably a thing. She probably rode home with you guys in the van.
Oh no!
That
wow.
night was
That's
just
how
like,
we know.
my life is ruined.
Okay, so yeah, if you guys want to go case out the museum, you can. Are you guys planning on doing that? Are you going over there during the day? Are you waiting till nighttime? Are you?
Oh, I want to go in the day and like walk the perimeter and see what's going down, so I can come back in the night and have an easy task of it.
Okay.
Fuck
Easy
vampires, work during the day.
That's true.
That's-
And I can get us inside to get a case of the interior layout if someone wants to come with Nate, because he's already been in there. They know him.
I think
You say that every time.
I think Ken would definitely come along with Nate in a more official capacity. Just because Ken's more of a stick in the mud.
And he's a scholar, so he actually wants to just go to the museum.
Yeah, I know that too. I'm like, I want to see some of this shit before we break it.
Museum day.
Yeah.
If there's
They
something
both
particularly that needs to be preserved, I can be like, hey, don't shoot there.
Right. They might be actual,
that's
since they
real.
specialize in cultural artifacts,
If
there
these
might
are
be
old-
stuff that.
Yeah, if these
Useful
are old
to
dead
us.
dudes, there might be real good stuff there.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, Ari's
I'll look
Perfect.
I'll look at some things.
What?
Sorry, I wanted to look at some things. Yeah, it's the American Museum of Natural History. That's what it
That's
is.
where would they go and
All
read
right.
the dinosaur story?
Yep.
We're going to a museum, so Jay makes it a point to wear a pocket square and an obnoxious scarf.
but still like a sleeveless shirt.
Bit from Indiana Jones where they swap hats and scarves.
That's
I'll
right.
take out my formal booty shorts.
You want to see it?
They have lace.
Nate,
Oh, I love it.
Like pleated booty shorts. Don't miss the pleat.
although instead of a black t-shirt, he has a black button-up under his hoodie and his leather jacket.
Nice.
Jay's still smoking cigarettes, but he produced a cigarette holder at some point from somewhere. This thing might be homemade. Who knows?
I was like, Ari just dressed up like a Japanese tourist and then made Lucas do it too, so he's wearing a Kohai shirt. Come. We're gonna break in somewhere.
He's like, all right, babe, whatever you want.
Ken's dressed normal because he looks like a student professor all the time.
Except for when he's also a samurai.
He walks in, my people.
Yep.
I'm like, see the elbow square? See the elbow patch?
Space.
Okay. Do you guys take the subway over there? Are you driving over there in the van? I mean, the van is maybe.
Nate, how are you planning on getting there?
Like no van for Ari.
Yeah, this is your lead, Nate.
Thinking a ride share, but what do you think, Nate?
Nate thinks we should leave the van as much as it pains him to do so because it is very conspicuous. Everyone will know the van is there. Nate thinks it's best to go, by rideshare or by taxi.
But yeah, get a car, you know.
I mean, yeah, he could just call a car. He could call a limo for us if he wanted to.
It's true.
Maybe not a limo, but like a Lincoln Town car that you're like, oh, they're not doing a limo.
It doesn't have to be a stretch limo. It's
But
still
it
a
might
limo.
as well be.
A Rolls Royce limo.
Yeah.
No, nice black SUV with tinted windows, so we look very important.
Fuck yeah. We're gonna roll into an Escalade.
It's all right.
Ari's still like waiting by the motorcycle.
Well, good outfit, Lucas. New side project. You find a band name that goes with that. All of you are gonna have to dress the same.
What did you just
Oh wow!
I put in
We've got an entire SUV of Japanese tourists.
a Kohai
Oh,
because I'm the
Well, they're
senpai.
not all coming, but this is for the side project. We're gonna have to take band pictures eventually.
Okay.
I dressed him up as if we were going to an anime convention.
I was just trying to. Okay, I see what you're getting at. All right.
Yeah, because Kohai is the younger.
Oh.
You don't
I'm the senpai.
term very
So wait, you have Kohai and you have I'm with Kohai or what?
Well, I have my bag says senpai or something.
Okay.
Like, he's mine.
You don't have the baseball cap with the the industrial lettering on it?
Perfect.
No, she's got too many bows in her hair for that shit.
So, Nate, you're calling a rideshare service?
No,
Or
I'm
no,
calling up a car.
Okay. That's fairly easy to do. You are able to contract, like you said, a nice SUV. They do give you the option of, unasked, they do give you the option of getting a secure car, as in, do you want bulletproof doors and bulletproof windows and all that kind of stuff?
I mean, not for going there.
That's you. They ask you, and it's kind of weird. They ask you, but
I mean, we are in the end times, so it's not that.
I think we
I-
should. I feel like it'd be a bit of a flex.
I think if you are asking for
We also
that, you always say yes.
Mint money.
Yeah.
So,
More features.
That was in character to Nate.
like, is there a TV in the car also?
yes. There's a
With
TV.
a DVD player.
Yeah.
All right. Who's poking out through the sunroof?
They have like flats, like plasma TVs in the seats and everything, but it's still only on VCR. So
Nice.
End times.
yeah, so it's fairly easy for you to get for you to get a car, and you do have you don't worry about the infinite money. So it takes a little while, probably it takes an hour or so for them to figure everything out and get logistics and get a driver out to you. So you guys can easily get over there by about somewhere around noon. Yeah. So you guys get the driver shows up. You guys pile into the car, and he takes you over to the museum. And it's the streets look fairly normal. It's relatively quiet for a New York City street. The museum itself obviously doesn't have a ton of patrons. It does seem like it's open because there are people going in and out, but not a large amount. There are guards kind of everywhere.
What kind of neighborhood is this? Like, is it pretty well to do?
Yeah. So
Well, in the before times, it would have been if we're like downtown.
Yeah, it's still pretty nice because it's right next to Central Park, and American History Museum. It's right next to Central Park, and so not anywhere near as far up as I think like Hell's Kitchen or any of that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's south of Harlem. So it's still this area is still pretty pretty nice. There are still large buildings around all over the place in this spot, and there's still a bunch of you call it old money who's still around here. There's the homeless are everywhere because way too many people have packed themselves into New York, but it's not doesn't seem like it's as big of a problem over here as it is in other spots of the city that you've been to.
Okay.
So you guys are out front or have pulled up out front of the library or the library out front of the museum, and you can see the place. It's there. You are free to do what you wish.
Hey, what are you going to do, Jay?
I don't know. I'm just gonna follow along. We're gonna look around, case the place.
I was gonna go around the back. I want to see if things are getting shipped in here or something.
You always want to go around the back, but
sometimes I want to be the one getting backed into.
Well, that's what I was. Never mind. I feel like it's
always a win-win for me.
No, I know it is. I just realized it's a fool's errands to try to make subtext happen because you don't need the eyebrows with you. It's just all on the table.
It's just
but yeah, I think before I check outside, I'd like to see what they have in. So we have a legit way to get inside here, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, you guys are in the front of the building, or by the entrance of the building, which is big and ostentatious and is fairly iconic looking. And to say that there is a back is kind of weird because it's surrounded on all sides by roads. So it's in the middle of a big chunk of ground that is kind of cut off from the rest of Central Park, and it just has a road. It has a road going all the way around it. Since it
serves as not the front entrance.
Let's see. I'm just trying to look here. Yeah, I mean there would be a spot for them to do some sort of shipping and things like that if they needed to pull stuff in and out for going from exhibition or being taken to another
there
place.
also would be leftover loading areas for when they had the cafe open and for food deliveries.
That's also true. Yeah. So yes, that kind of stuff does have. It's just not it ain't like you have a back alley that you can hide behind to go sneak in through a back door. It's pretty well open everywhere. Okay, cool. So, all right. So,
well, let's go ahead and go inside. And then I'll check for cameras.
Okay. So you guys are going to, sorry, give me a second, guys. I'm trying to formulate some stuff here.
On the way over, like in the trip on the car, I probably would have like subscribed or purchased a top tier membership to the museum.
Not that you needed to.
He just wants his name in it.
Okay.
Well, actually, I wouldn't want to use my name. I'd be like starting to be like, do we have like fake names we can use?
Well, that's a tricky question.
I'm sure your mom didn't name you that.
Because I would have drifted the screen of my phone over to be like, we wanna flex big. I got the cash to back it up, so it only needs to be semi-legitimate, not wholly fabricated.
Well, let me look at my list.
How many fake names do I have on tap?
Yeah, well, some of them you're not gonna want to use. You don't look like a book to me, but yeah.
I respect your art as a creator.
Okay, so let's see here. So you guys mostly just want to get inside, and so that's so. Like I said, one of the weird things about the museum nowadays is that you do have to have some sort of official reasoning to be there, either just appointments or you're there to bring new pieces for the collection or whatnot, or you're a donor or a benefactor or something to that effect.
Throw more money at it?
Yeah. So
I was like, isn't that why we have Nate?
that's true. Yeah.
Like, literally last time just walked in, gave a name and a bunch of money and was like, yeah, let me in the building, and they did it. So,
You didn't just buy the building. You just be like, well, guess we're gonna walk down here now.
This is mine
This is
now.
ours.
yes, I've got my colleagues with me.
That's true. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. In that case, then yeah, you don't really have any sort of issue getting in. The crowd of you goes up the stairs, and
I mean, if they ask for identities, then that's going to be. I'll leave that up to everybody else. But
I mean, that depends on how much. That depends on how much you add to the donation plate. So they're like, the guy at the door pretty much says, he greets you because he does recognize you from last time. Says,
Every time.
So I stopped recording for a minute there because I thought we might take a break, and then just continue to be ridiculously silly. So we'll get Jaren caught up. He's locked in again. I'm way too invested in these fictional stories of Yaya at UCLA.
I'm sorry, guys. I don't know. I was
That's cool, man.
usually better at letting this stuff flow, but it's not like flowing, so I gotta.
That's okay.
We just got cranked up. So
Tony and I just wrote a fanfic about how all of our Jewish relatives are into J-Rock.
not even our relatives, but
Yeah.
the fictional character I'm assuming, Motul Denovitz, who is the head professor of Pan-Pacific Studies at UCLA, recently appointed, and this young lady and her friend are two of my grad students helping me on some research.
Fantastic.
And that spiraled into some ridiculous universe where Motul's wife, mother, and grandmother all dress like her, Yaya loves her Pocky, and heaven help the schmuck that gets in the way of her and her Haichu.
I know, right? Okay, we'll wait for John to get back, but okay.
Yaya says the day she can't slam the marble into the bottle of Ramune is the day we take her out back.
Life is over.
Oh yeah.
Heaven help us, we thought it was going to have to happen a couple times.
That makes me think of Old Yeller, but then that makes me feel kind of racist. Because the reason he's called Old Yeller is because he's a yellow dog.
Oh no!
Yes. No,
No.
They're Jewish people.
That's just
right.
like eight things.
Yeah. Still though.
Yeah.
Feels weirdly racist. I don't know why.
Does it feel racist? It is. Okay. But that's we dabble in that here. So feels like it's still a brand. Speaking of which, Rabbit, you still there?
She's taking a bit of a break herself.
Okay. But yeah, so Moltel and then Nate, was your character, were you still Nate, or did you come up with a pseudonym as well?
Himself.
What is your last name? I don't remember.
Tozier.
Tozier. Thank you.
Like Hozier, but with a T.
Tozier?
Tofier.
Fascinating.
It is the Americanized version of Tozier, which is the Frenchanized version of Koshevitz.
So 1,000,000 years ago, when Amanda and I were in high school, we were at this. We were at the mall because the school did like a district-wide art show, and we met some guy there named Franco. And someone in our group was having a really hard time understanding that his name was Franco for some reason. And he says, like Frank with an O. And without skipping a beat, she says, Frank? It's like,
nice.
So that's where my
I probably would say the same thing, like Frank, but with an O. Frank? Mostly because I do the same thing with my name. I tell people like Jason, but with an R instead of an S.
Yeah.
But Frank.
Garson?
Somewhere recently, I heard the horrible joke that it's like, oh, Bob, is that with 2 O's?
I don't know. I would have went with Aaron with a J.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Jaron. Yeah.
That's also why I often let people at work just call me J. Aaron, because then they understand.
Yup.
I mean, that's how you are in my phone.
Yeah.
You yeah. Also, I do that because they have too many people at work that whose name sounds kind of like mine.
Amanda's gotta go.
Oh, okay.
You are hella J.A. Ron.
Okie doke.
Oop.
I could share
Okay. Well, that is unfortunate. Okay. Well, if we want to continue on, then I think I am good to go.
I think it'll be okay.
Okay, cool. Anywho, so you pile out of the very inconspicuous black bulletproof SUV. You guys head up the stairs to head up the big wide stairs to the entrance of the museum. You're stopped by a guard, of course, who asks to see what is your business here? Can I see some identification?
If the guard holds up his hand at all, I high five him because I'm grinning way too much.
That is the thing that happens. He's like, hold on a second, you high five.
What's up, man? Happening.
Nate reaches into his leather jacket, pulls out. It's all black. You can't actually read it because it's black on black.
Nice.
But it does appear to be a business card.
Oh my god!
Is it gloss on matte?
Yeah, you gotta shine it the right way.
Yeah,
It's
the
so
prints
great.
on it.
Here for it.
I'm getting that scene from American Psycho where he takes the guy's business card and it's just going through it obsessively oh my god, the paper quality is so.
This is a very nice business card.
Yeah.
He gets it out, doesn't say anything, just hands it to the man.
The guy takes it, and you see him. This guy, by the way, I say guard. It's not like he's some sort of 2-bit museum guard. This guy looks like black suit, sunglasses, got an earpiece, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, a well-paid ghoul. Got it.
Yeah, he's looking at it, and you see him, come pull up one of these, and he, a second or two passes, and says, yes, welcome in, Mr. Tozier. Who are your friends?
These are my colleagues. And I don't remember what you called yourself, so I'm just going
I'm a member, Denovitz.
He pulls up a phone, or he pulls up a tablet, and he scrolls down.
Denovitz. Not that kind of doctor,
Yeah. Scrolls down. I see your name here. You do know that there's you just joined 10 minutes ago?
Well, we didn't have a good connection on the plane, so.
Right. Usually there's a week-long waiting, or there's a week-long permit or a wait.
Nate cuts him off.
Excuse me.
Yeah, and I just sort of point at Nate as Nate cuts him off because I'm like, here it comes.
He's holding it together really well, but if anyone looks, his ears are bright red again. But he's
we see his towel.
Right.
I think this one time you can make an exception. I vouch for them.
Right. And he stops. All right, yeah, you're free to go in. Don't go past the foyer for the moment. Someone will be down to meet you. And he hands you your card back.
Awesome.
And he gestures, and two more goons that are basically look about the same as him with the same squared off haircuts open the doors. You do notice that, Nate, specifically, that it actually is a little bit more, security seems a little more beefed up than it was the last time.
Yeah, because last time I literally walked inside and talked to a lady at a desk.
Yeah, no, it's a bit, it's more.
They were not door guards.
Hell yeah.
We're setting them on edge. This is great.
Nice.
I'm admiring our handiwork internally. This is fantastic.
Out loud, I'm like, man, I heard that gracious donation went farther, but apparently not. Jeez.
Lisa, give me a because I know you were specifically looking for it. Give me a. I got it right here. Thank you. A perception plus. We'll go with larceny because
Yay!
you do perception plus larceny roll.
But is that for everybody or just?
No, just me.
Lisa was the only one who she was looking out for
Me?
things. Cameras,
I was
and-
gonna walk around outside, but I decided to just stick with everybody.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm
so
And like
6 and better is a success.
7 and better.
7 and better.
7 and better.
No one asks me for a name, I'm not giving it.
Woo! Do my 10s
take your arm.
explode?
Sure.
10's double.
10's double. Okay, so I have 5.
Okay, cool. So as you're all being escorted in, you said you specifically had said you were looking around for like security cameras and things like that. And yeah, near the gate there are a number of security cameras just out front, and then as you go inside, there are other cameras. There's those the ones that like the dome like dome cameras that are set into the ceiling. You also notice that with 5 successes, you can tell that the wires in the walls kind of make it look like there's probably some sort of alarm system on at least this door, but you can then assume probably most of the other doors.
Uh-huh.
And specifically above this door, there has been installed a lowerable like metal gate, basically, that could be installed over that can come down behind it. You guys do so. You have a fairly good understanding of what the level of security that's probably in this building is.
Yeah.
Let's just making a cage for themselves. We don't give a shit about that stuff.
I'm not locked in here with you.
That's what's up.
You're locked in here with me.
Hey,
So they shuffle you forward, and again, weird thing that you didn't have to deal with last time. There's metal detectors.
I tap.
Just
I
happens
tap-
first.
I tap my cane just a little harder on the ground as I walk, and I try and use that to obfuscate it into becoming just straight wood, so that it doesn't trigger.
Okay. I don't know that. Did I ever say I could do that, or are you just?
The outfit lets me morph the items. I didn't know if it quite extended that way. I thought that sort of allowed for that.
I would say okay. So, but it does look like a cane at the moment, correct?
Well, it is a. It does just appear to be like a stick with a cool band, where the break of the hilt would be.
Yeah.
That is what it looks like in its natural state. With the attire, with the kimono,
Yeah.
the hakama, I can change the appearance of everything on me, so I would make it look a little more like a normal cane. And I
Yeah.
thought that it also allowed for the morphing of the magical item, but
So okay. So it can change the outward appearance, but it would still have a blade in the middle, like and down it. So it's like you can change it into a sword cane of some sort. However, you can change it into it looks like a actual cane, so it's not too big of a deal. Is anybody carrying a gun on them or anything like that, though?
I have
my guitar.
inside my purse, which is more or less a hammer space. So
Oh yeah. Okay. So the purse is probably fine. Yeah, you have the guitar. The guitar is.
It's a guitar.
It is a guitar. That is true. Yeah. Okay. So you guys start going. They start funneling you through the metal detectors. Nate, you light up like a Christmas tree, but
I'm wearing a leather jacket, and also I have a wallet.
yeah, they. But also, you're the benefactor, so they're like, okay, fine, whatever.
I mean, he's like, you
Yeah.
can pat me if you want.
Yeah, they pat you down.
I grab the
Yeah,
end
rude
of
about
the like conveyor belt, and then put the cane on there, and I'm like, titanium core, and then like push myself through the detector, and I like tap my leg, and I'm like, endo injury. Never yield right.
And the security guards there is like, sure, whatever. They're kind of over it.
Well, if anybody has to pat me down, I completely lean into it, but I don't think so. I'm probably fine.
I was like, you're trying to put metal on your body? Like, find it.
You don't have any non-visible piercing.
Oh hell yeah, she does.
Yeah.
You
I
might have
dropped
something else
most-
just in there for fun.
I dropped most of my metal stuff into the bin, including my lighter, but I keep my knife on, and then I will set off the metal detector. But I use the subtle knife when they pat me off, so they can't find where the knife is.
How do you do that? What is it?
Well, subtle knife basically allows you to conceal an object on your person. You spend a legend, and then it makes other people think it's not there. So there's a roll that they have to do, but basically their mind just makes them ignore it.
Okay. If that's the case, if you're actually spending legend for that, then I'm not going to worry about you rolling it against these guys. These are mooks.
Mooks.
If you spend the legend point, and yeah, you'll set off the alarm as you go through, but as they pat you down, and the guy like 100% just puts his hands all over the knife that's like on you, and he just doesn't recognize that it's even there.
Perfect. And I play into it, and I'm like my best airport customer. I'm like, I don't know what I took off my belt.
It's
I mean, should I be jealous? He's cutting his hands all over you.
My boots of steel toes. That's what it is. The boots of steel toes.
Learn some new tricks.
That
I was
guy's
like,
pretty
everything
good.
Ari's wearing is plastic, so.
Waved over the merchandise a couple times.
Yeah, but in any case, you guys get through just fine. Sally, your purse does not, in fact, set off the alarm, so you snuck a gun inside. Good job.
Perfect.
While they're playing with Jay, I nudge Lucas. I'm like, it's a good thing it doesn't detect vinyl, right?
Yeah, we'd be in trouble.
Yeah. Lucas is trying to be as suave as the rest of you, and he's failing badly.
I say again louder and slower the Japanese word for vinyl, like he didn't understand.
And he's like,
This is great.
Yeah.
Great.
So as you
Ari takes something and like knocks Ken in the back of the knee and goes, "Don't pick on him. Mine to pick on. Find your own."
As you guys are going through this, you hear the very what's what I'm looking for? Distinct sound of some really expensive shoes clicking down the hallway. And a woman walks around the corner. Who just looks like she owns the fucking place. She is wearing a power suit with a
accused of things. Don't. Hey.
Hi, Jess.
Hi, Gigi.
Hi, JC. Fringe benefits.
I thought you
For
said
half a second, I thought you said French.
French.
French benefits. I'm like,
French.
I
Yeah.
mean, they are
French.
beneficial, sure.
French benefits is what you sign into when you married.
that's what you got,
You
Sally.
get Filipino benefits.
Filipino
No one's gonna
benefits.
stop you.
You got French with benefits.
French with benefits. That's right.
Nice.
French friend.
French.
Not yet.
Français.
Well, I'm sure he's gonna show up.
Oh, now we've got
Aaron keeps
the-
throwing in different vampires. I'm like, I'm waiting for him to show the fuck up.
Who?
Bertram.
I don't know enough about Bertram to really.
You made it up.
He's too pure a soul to be messed up with these
I mean,
heathens.
Bert. Yeah. Oh no, Bertram.
The world
I
will never
already
know.
had plans for him to show up at some point or another.
Bertram
Hey,
Bertram will show up as a scholar. Looks the same, but he has like little glasses.
Getting my own character.
Yep.
We just need to go out and find creepy Captain America.
Bertram never
Planet.
managed capability of adverbs.
Weird nature spirit.
Whatever the word is for when you. Yeah, adverbs, right?
It's pretty
Yeah.
sure it's Edward.
Never develop use of adverbs.
In any case, so yes, you hear powerful bitch heels walking down the hallway, and
I look at her feet. I want to see what kind of shoes she has.
I would tell you some sort of like
She's got Jimmy Choo's.
with that.
Give me choose.
I will accept that because I don't know heels.
Just, yeah.
Or Louis Vuitton
Prada.
with the red soles.
The you see this, like I said, she's wearing a incredibly powerful suit with a skirt, and you think the shoes might cost more than the suit itself. Hair drawn up in a bun, and not quite to Miss Allen levels, but it's there. And she's not so much pretty as she is assaulting you with her attractiveness. Like you're
Does that mean I instantly have to like lock eyes and like challenge that? Like
it's sort of when you do finally like take in the whole picture, you're like,
Gotta ask for a collab.
like if you feel like if you don't acknowledge the fact that she's as pretty as she is, that she was probably going to punch you in the face. So
I feel like when she walks in, there's that like,
yeah, that noise is just kind of
like big cat.
I mean, good thing I'm really good at taking punches in the face.
yeah. And she walks up and just kind of says, "What are you all doing? Stop this! Let them through, please. Come!" And she like waves you all forward, and the guards all just kind of like, "All right, fine. Jeez, calm down. We're just doing our jobs."
No worries. They have regulations like this back at the campus. Like, you gangbangers get on the green, and all of a sudden we're an institution. It's fine.
She stops and kind of as you guys get away from the metal detectors and everything, she stops and she gives you a little bow and says, "My name is Amelia Callis. I am the curator and overall operations manager of the museum here. I see that we have. I got word that you were coming in, Mr. Tozier, after your sizable donation last time, and I wanted to come down and greet you personally. I apologize for the rudeness of my staff."
Nate just kind of was like, they're just doing their jobs.
What was the name you were using, Jay?
Virgil. Virgil Norton.
Yeah, I'm like, I think Mr. Norton got a number. I think it was a beneficial transaction all around.
That's right.
Well, I'm glad that you're not too put out. Now, if I may
I
ask,
wanted me to put out, but I mean,
she just kind of ignores the crass comment.
Hey, I go now, Mr. Morton. You'll make what? Oh, I had. You'll make Usagi and Shinji blush.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Oh no! Once she gets started, it just doesn't stop.
And Lucas is like, Lucas leans over and he's like, "That's not my name."
I'm sorry, my American tongue can't get the name right.
No, my name is Lou.
So Ari grabs him and then brings her lips next to his ear and goes, "Shut up, you cute thing. Nobody asked you."
Yes. Thank you, Lulu.
Cute.
The R's are so difficult, you can't really.
He immediately counters back with like you whisper into his ear, and then he looks over at Ken and is like, "Arigato."
Perfect.
He speaks the third best Italian here.
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
And of course, in perfect Japanese, I say, "You're welcome, think nothing of it."
Right.
Amelia gathers herself and so what brings you to the museum today, Mr. Tozier and your
Entourage.
colleague?
And Nate is going to. Can I see the?
Oh yeah. Sorry, here you go.
Nate is going to turn on several things right now.
There we go.
Ken is ready to assist with some sort of story, but figures Nate can take the lead as much as he likes.
No.
And
Oh.
Nate mentioned in the car, a lost email, and checking out something in one of the archives, that sort of thing.
There's plenty of math that can do this.
Yep.
Nate is going to turn on his benefit of the doubt,
Okay.
which basically makes people believe what I tell them. Basically, whatever the reason, the listener gives the Scion the benefit of the doubt in regards what the Scion next tries to explain, despite what he may otherwise be inclined to believe.
Okay.
Blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I spend a point of legend, and then I just bullshit, and they believe me.
Yeah, I got you. Okay. So you spend your point of legend and
Spend a point of legend, and Nate spins a yarn about wanting to make sure that his donation is going to verify the veracity of the items in the museum. He believes that it's important, and he wants to see that his donation is going. He's heard rumors since, he's offered to give this, but he's heard some things about maybe shady dealings, and he wants to make sure the artifacts are genuine and
Yep. And she takes this all on board and is like, oh yes, of course. I would be happy to show you around and show you exactly where your money is going, and I would be more than pleased to take you all on a small tour if you would like, and perhaps even show you some of our more private collection, as that is a majority of where your money is actually going to be going towards.
Ari gets Ken's attention and in rapid Japanese says, "Yes, we would like to see the private collection. Would you please ask her, Sensei?"
And I would like to see if Ms. Callis, was it?
Yes.
I would like to get a sense for if Ms. Callis understands Japanese.
Which is why I said things that were very innocent to someone listening in on Japanese.
And actually, before you say that, she does. Well, no, never mind. Go ahead with what you were going to do.
Yeah.
That's a perception plus, or is that a perception or wits plus?
I'd say that was perception.
Yeah, that would be. Well, you're trying to pick up on whether or not she understands a language. I guess you probably would not necessarily know unless you actually talk to her in that language specifically, because she's paying attention to Nate at the moment. But it would be, if you're just trying to pick that up, it would probably be like a perception plus. Is linguistics a skill in here?
No.
Can I run academics? Because that would be sort of the
Closest.
Yeah, perception plus academics would probably be correct.
Ooh.
This is the opposite of the Kool-Aid Man.
Do ones cancel out?
Yes, ones do cancel out.
All right, then I would like to spend 1 willpower to get 0.
Oh,
I'll let you know. Hey, I'll let you know. Don't worry about spending the willpower because there's no actual penalty for botching this particular roll. So you're just kind of like just kind of eyeing her. Like at this point, basically, it just becomes instead of you like looking at her like whatever, you're just like kind of eyeballing her, like waiting for a chance for her to say something.
So after that moment of not getting anything, I go,
yeah.
No, Usagi, in English, where is the bathroom?
And Amelia immediately perks up and she turns to you, and she turns to Lisa, or turns to Ari, and in perfect, like she was born in Osaka.
Oh no!
Oh, that's my favorite accent.
Yeah.
Well, like perfect Osaka Japanese,
Yeah,
or
right.
So with a kick.
So if it's perfect Osaka Japanese, it's like super slangy and like not prim and proper.
Yes.
Okay, great. Yay!
That is to that extent.
That was just the discussion we had. It sounds like Southern.
And it's almost to the point where since you know something about that, you're like, oh yeah, right, neat. She knows the language. Wait a minute. She assumes that I'm a hick.
Well, considering the outfit.
Well, I didn't speak in an Osakan accent.
Oh, okay. I guess that's a good.
Yeah, because she would have.
I mean,
yeah, no, I have like a proper Tokyo accent.
I still think these are all valid choices.
Yeah.
I mean, totally.
In any case, she is speaking to you like you're getting a weird sense that maybe she's thinking she's talking down to you, but she does in fact say in a perfect Osakan accent of the bathroom is down the hall to the left.
Can I also roll a thing?
Sure.
I would like to use empathy though, to try to just get an idea of how, like, her impression of us so far.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a empathy plus.
It would be something else plus empathy.
Yeah. We'll go with wits plus empathy. No, perception plus empathy.
Okay.
Trying to figure
I'm my only reference for what an Osaka accent sounds like, because I don't speak Japanese that well, so like you can tell me that they're speaking in an accent, but I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Is I just think of Molly from the old dub of Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maxfield Stanton. He's from New Jersey, I guess.
Yep.
Maxfield Stanton, you're so handsome. Yeah, 4. Yeah, she's real impressed by Nate. None of the rest of y'all have given her money, have given the museum money. The guy over there with the 2 students is a membership, but that means, very little by comparison to big money,
Big Daddy
Warbucks over here. Yeah.
I'm allowed to use the bathrooms, but that's about it.
Well, that's Nate's plan, is to hold her attention.
Yeah.
And then everybody else can kind of fuck off.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but now she's picked a fight with Ari. So Ari snaps her little fan open and like blushes and giggles and goes, "Oh, if you keep your private collection in the bathroom, that would be lovely, and I would love to see it." Japanese.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, delightful.
It must not be a lovely private collection if it's kept in the bathroom.
I look like I'm losing the thread, which is fine because I don't think I need any sort of obfuscation for that.
Yeah.
I don't think it heard you when you said where the private collections are. She only heard him say in English, "Where's the bathroom?"
But then she turned to me and spoke in Japanese. So I'm like, "Oh, you speak Japanese, do you? Here we go. You want to play this game?"
Bitch.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
and
if I get an inkling that she's looking down on us, like she's like, this is perfect. And then now that we're inside, I put on sunglasses.
Yep. No, she's looking down literally everybody but Nate at the moment because he's the one who gave her money. Or gave him the money at least. But she says, so if you all want to follow me, and I will take you wherever I'll take you on a tour of the museum, and we can, I can show you where your donation is going.
That would be lovely. Thank you. He never makes eye contact, like with the exception of when he was giving her the bullshit story. Otherwise, he does not make eye contact.
Yeah, and she says, now before we go inside, I must insist a few rules are followed. And I believe these are fairly standard. Obviously, no smoking inside of the collection, and yeah. Oh no! Do you?
No, I'm just
okay. Yeah,
he doesn't actually do that.
Yeah, no smoking inside of the collection. We wish to maintain everything in as pristine quality as possible. No flash photography for the same reasons, and obviously, please don't touch any of the pieces on display. It would be bad for your health. And she walks on, and completely kind of ignoring the obvious dark tone to that statement. She says, "Now, please follow me," and she clicks off down the hallway.
Alrighty.
Those heels, like, they're just driving that sound right into your brain. Lisa, you are muted.
I noticed.
Okay.
I'm having a side conversation with Rabbit. So
I see. I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, since my keyboard is so loud and obnoxious, I try to put myself on mute. So yes, under her breath, quietly to Ken, she goes, "When I break into this place, her office is the first one I'm burning down."
I'm like, yeah, no, she told you where the bathroom is. Absolutely.
So she took you on a tour of the museum, and it is everything that the American Natural History Museum in New York always was, in terms of dinosaur skeletons and human artifacts and things like that. Although it seems like it's been sort of shifted around in scope, in the sense that it looks like there are portions of the museum where it says like New York Art Museum and things like that, and so it seems like much of the cultural artifacts from around the city have been consolidated in this building, either as a means to protect them or as just a greedy collector trying to put everything in one little box. So there is a lot on display. There is, a ton of stuffed animals of different kinds. There are, like you said,
I know what you mean by stuffed animals. our
Oh,
brain.
yeah.
It's just like, oh, they're stuffies.
Squishables all over.
Yeah, there are taxidermy animals everywhere. There are unfortunately no like large plush bears anywhere.
No.
Look at all these beanie babies.
Somebody collects those.
That's item for you.
Yeah, right.
Pile of beanie babies.
Going through some of the and as she takes you on, tour through some of the art exhibits, there are multiple different famous paintings there, although nothing like all the stuff that's in the Louvre is presumably still in the Louvre, so nothing like that here. But yeah, it's a nice museum tour. There is a ton of shit here, and the Lisa, the security, as you have gone through, looking through, there are cameras everywhere.
It's just tighter now, huh?
Yeah, there are not as many guards throughout the museum as you might expect, mostly because the gate, to the museum itself, is so heavily, so well protected. But there are still one or two milling about, making sure everything is safe. You get the one guy with the flashlights, doing the Ben Stiller thing. Yeah, a lot of those, that's actually a significant point, is a lot of those dioramas and things like that have been kind of taken out in service of just having more a cataloged racks of items and artifacts. Go ahead and everybody give me straight legend rolls.
Oh, okay.
Oh, hey.
Absolutely not.
Nothing. I'm still pissed off.
Tens of two.
Yeah, 3.
Wow.
This was supposed to make me feel better. I don't feel better.
Yeah, as you're kind of looking around, and she's describing, oh well, so we acquired these pieces from here, and this is our like I said, our New York art collection, which we've consolidated after we acquired the building, and blah 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 blah. I'm just going along and giving you her spiel. Yeah, you guys are mostly looking around and through some of the historical artifacts, just putting out the feelers, trying to get a sense of whether or not maybe some of this stuff belongs to other people like you. And at least to this point, none of you sense anything like that. It does not seem like there are any properly, magical artifacts, at least in the collection that you're seeing. Now she finishes the tour, and this honestly takes a couple of hours because it's a fairly extensive museum. And she says, now, if you, as I said, if you'd like, we can go downstairs into the private collection. It is a more secure location, and sometimes we've had people that feel claustrophobic down there. I will just give you the warning, just in case you don't feel comfortable. But I'm more than happy to show you down.
Nate that's her finish.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be rude, but he's like, yes, no, let's go there.
Okay. And she says, now, unfortunately, I can only take you down into the private collection. The rest of your colleagues are going to have to stay here. It's policy, they're not donators. Yeah, they're not donors.
Well,
Ari pulls Kurama's bell out of her pocket and goes, "Be my eyes."
I was like, oh.
Sweet
how does one make a donation, as that was discussed earlier, but never quite found a so.
If you would like to make a donation, I can direct you to our offices upstairs, we have a donor's office that you can speak to my secretary, and she will set you up with proper means to do so. Otherwise, you can, if it's if it's a sizable enough donation, that is. Otherwise, you are free to just donate online.
Yes, well, the amounts in question, yes, I'm quite impressed. Would definitely be handwritten. A few more zeros than I'd feel comfortable over a wire transfer. So, in that case, I imagine then my associates and my students can explore the halls up here as they like. If you wish to get that assistant around so I can have a chat with them, and then you and Mr. Tozier can do as you like.
She says, yes. I will call for a guard to escort you. And she pulls out you don't notice where she pulled the tablet that she now has in her hands from, but she now has a tablet in her hands. You don't think there is a pocket anywhere on her body. But she pulls out a tablet and taps a couple of things and says, yes, my assistant will meet you upstairs when you are ready to donate. For the meantime, feel free to explore at your leisure. As I said, I will have, and she taps on her ear and says, yes, meet us down here in the main hall. And almost immediately, another one of those standard goons shows up, and she says, "Tony, please manage these. Please manage these fine folks here as they wish to explore the collection on their own."
Nate, do you want to hang out a bit so we can go down together, or do you want to just go on ahead and I'll catch up?
Megan is asking what would you prefer happen?
I'm good either way, splitting up to try and get different intel, but if we want to stay at least grouped in some way, I'm down for that.
Yeah, Nate says, "Oh, would it be like, I think I will wait for my colleague so that we may, because the whole point that he made up when we were getting in was that he needed somebody to be inspecting the collection." So.
Oh, okay. I see. I got you. All right. Fair enough. Then she says, well, we'll let him, we will verify the funds. And as soon as that is done, then you are more than welcome to join us, Mr. I apologize. I don't remember catching your last name. Mm-hmm. You totally gave her your last name. She just didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
What was your last name again that you're giving her?
Denovitz.
Denovitz. Mr. Denovitz.
If they check the name with any brief type of search, someone else at a computer of some sort, it is supposed to be connected to a diamond family here.
I gotcha. Okay. See if that works.
It's someone Ari and I knew from our synagogue.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, that doesn't take all that long. And what is your money situation?
We're rich.
We're pretty loaded.
Yeah.
We're not as loaded as Nate because Nate has infinity money.
Right.
Yeah.
But we're fucking loaded.
Yeah. You guys are rich. Nate has fuck you money.
Yeah, which is the funnier part because Ari's constantly like conning people out of their money. She doesn't need it.
Yeah.
She likes to know she can do it.
That's right. It's sport.
Exactly.
Part of why it pisses your mother off so much because it's like you don't need to steal. I know, but I want to.
I don't usually pay for things. I mean, people usually do it for me.
I donate,
and I'm not stealing. They give it to me.
I donate a strange amount of 6 digits
Just
A strange amount of 6 digits.
That's like
It's number.
it's like 231872
yeah, it's just
because it's all money.
Decimals?
Because it's all money that Ari's given me that I know has not been gotten legitimately. I keep a separate account of it.
and I don't even give him all of it. I do other things with the stuff that I keep.
Once she gets verification that the transaction went through, she says, "Oh well, Mr. Denovitz, please join us." And her demeanor towards you changes entirely. You 100% believe that she is no longer just kind of looking at you as if you are one of those homeless people that was on the street.
That's fine. Make our way back down to Nate, and I'm like, yeah, let's take a look at this collection.
So is the guard babysitting us? Like, is this a thing?
Yeah, he's following you around. He's not like staying close to you. He's just kind of like every time you look around, like you're like, all right, I'm gonna go around the corner, and he happens to be on the other corner, and then you go around the corner again, and he's still on the other, and you're like, you were just over there, but
Hammerspace.
you were there.
Well, we're staying together, so
Of course.
I'm turning on unlidded eye because I'm trying to see, even though we didn't detect like any powerful stuff in there, like I try to catch if anything around here is magical.
Mhm.
And I basically, if we have like a moment of privacy, I tell Ari and Zalim, like, try to find what is like most valuable here, because if we do come back here tonight, which seems like might be a thing,
Mhm.
I have ideas.
Check something real quick.
So wait, I'm not sure what I would roll for that.
Ari is taking Lucas around and taking selfies
Right.
Nice.
in front of random strategic spaces and leaves Kurama next to Nate's feet to follow around so she can keep an eye on what's happening downstairs with Ken.
We should be on security duty.
So here's an
I
interesting.
would be very surprised if there's nothing in here to try to ward people off after hours.
So here's an interesting point that I'll bring up that I just had to look it up, but I wanted to. You talked about what was the most valuable thing, the high value of things here. On your tour, there was an area of the place that's dedicated to precious stones, gems, rocks, things like that, and the Hope Diamond,
Which is 100% a cursed object.
Mm-hmm.
is in the the Hope Diamond is in the collection. Given she talks about the fact that they acquired a lot of the things from the Smithsonian once all of the unpleasantness in DC happened, and it's not on this. It's on display. It's not down in the private collection. It also weirdly didn't. It was also just a thing that it didn't actually ping it didn't ping any of you guys as a legend, as like a birthright or anything like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that reinforces the theory that there's very likely security measures down here. So let's try to figure out who they are while looking like that guard is dogging us. So I am spouting.
What is he going to do if we split up into two groups? Is he going to just somehow divide into two?
I mean,
We kind of already are split up into two groups because while Ari's keeping an eye on you guys, she's definitely walking away with Lucas to take selfies.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. That's kind of the thing is that as you guys are splitting up and you guys are like walking around, whenever you look around and you think that you're private, you think that it's like private. You're like okay, all right, and then all of a sudden you look around and down the corner there's fucking someone who looks like Tony just kind of watching you.
Oh, there you go. They have weird clone guards. That's fine. So keep your eyes peeled. I'm gonna run interference, and as we stop over shit, I'm spouting the most fucking psychobabble like chaos theory bullshit.
Nice.
You're pulling a Jeff Goldblum.
Dr. Ian Malcolm.
Dr. Ian Malcolm.
Yep. We're talking about non-linear determinism and
I like when you
Wow.
Non-linear, like you're talking about chaos theory and how it relates to hockey somehow, and
oh yeah, no, there's every single fucking thing that we see is just a way to get more into like a mind-numbing like wall of text.
So
what does the Midless Eye for you do again? Is it
casing? So you look around. I have my magic sight on, so I'll rely on that. But I'm putting Joe into distracting the guards.
Is that what Lidless Eye does? It's magic. It's like magic sight.
Yeah. So it lets the caster see magic and supernatural powers that are normally invisible to mortal sight.
Okay, fair enough. So while I said before, like there weren't anything that like that feels like birthright kind of stuff. There are a couple things that do. There are a few artifacts throughout there that do ping as like at least somewhat lightly magical. The Hope Diamond being one of them, as everybody just knows that thing is cursed. Although you notice something about this because you have actually you have plenty of work with magic, and specifically certain types of magic. It doesn't feel when you walk by the Hope Diamond, you look at it and you're like, that doesn't feel like a curse. It's magic, but it doesn't feel like a curse. It feels like something else. But that's you need to actually get your hands on it if you wanted to look at it.
Right. I'll yeah, my goal with the chatting is basically I'm using center of attention so that I can distract the guards with my obnoxiousness, so that Zalim can look around and potentially case and look for what we might be up against.
When are we actually rolling for that?
So anybody who's casing the joint, go ahead and give me perception plus larceny rolls. Or
Also investigation.
Perception plus larceny if you have it, or perception plus investigation.
I don't think I have investigation, but I have larceny. I was actually going to put another down anyways.
Don't worry about it.
Do it.
What? 2, 3, 6.
Just okay.
That's 4 for Ari.
I spent a willpower. I got 2.
Okay. So Zalim, you definitely notice obviously all the cameras and things like that around. You can see that there are skylights and places that you could potentially get in through the ceiling, and there are windows here and there, but most of the windows have been barred up, so that's going to be kind of hard. Ari, you had already been looking at the security measures in the building as it is, and with 4 more successes and having a little bit more deep dive into the rest of the place, you think that getting in through the skylights, provided that you have some way of getting in and not falling to your death is probably the most is probably the easiest method to get in without security. It's unlikely that from everything you can see, it's unlikely that they probably have wires on those windows.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't expect anybody to climb onto the roof. And
I mean, I have cat's grace out the ass, so.
well, yeah.
Ken and Ari, and I'm sure the other dexterous Scions can literally flying dragon down various
I
fixtures.
say also with my brand new fancy red leather coat, I float.
Yeah. So for normal people, no one's gonna climb in through the ceiling and break in that way.
They're not going to Mission Impossible this shit.
But we will.
But I will.
Yeah. That's probably the easiest way to get in. You don't know what anything underground really looks like. There are a couple of walls that that kind of go directly to the outside that you guys have used, or Ken has used his Full Metal Alchemist door making powers on other walls like that before that might work to bypass security. But the walls here are thicker and made of concrete and a lot harder to kind of deal with. So
rebar.
So this skylight probably is going to be your best bet.
By the way, so other than the guards and Amelia, who else is working here?
There are different pages running about and other clerical staff. Although down here in the actual collection, you do see a couple of other people milling about. Other people come to look at the collection. But in terms of workers, it's all clerical staff. It's basically all clerical staff and security guards.
All right, but there's offices upstairs.
Yeah, there are offices upstairs, and there's one janitor that you've seen who looks like he's really overworked.
Aww. Why don't we go talk to the janitor?
Oh, sure. We'll head in that direction while I'm spouting nonsense the entire time. You can start to work on the staff.
So while you guys are doing that, Ken and Nate says, "Now let's go downstairs and look at something a little bit more interesting." And she takes you to an elevator, and that has a code on it. Like a punch code.
Mm-hmm.
It punches in a number, and
Nate watches her punch in the number.
You have eidetic memory, kind of, don't you? Or do you have a?
No, I just have really high academics. Numbers and science are my thing.
Yeah. Go ahead and give me a intelligence plus awareness. Yeah. I want to go with intelligence plus awareness roll to watch her do that and memorize the code. It is a 6-digit code, so it is
1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for my epic intelligence.
Yeah. Okay. You're good. You got it. You got it memorized now. And door opens, leads you guys inside, and she takes you down 2 levels as the elevator
Nate
descends.
is slightly disappointed that it's only 2.
Well, it takes you kind of long to get kind of a long ways to get down there. And do you say anything about that?
No.
Okay. And the door eventually opens, and when you get in there, you kind of understand why it's only 2 levels, because it seems like the private collection is some sort of underground warehouse. It is much more well organized than the place where they put stuff being looked at by top men, but it's not incomparable in size.
I imagine. So I use my cane a little slower, as I'm pretty sure there's something following me. Ari's fox.
Oh, the fox guy, yeah.
And I imagine the fox thing would also want to make note of that code in case.
Which is interesting because she said that people get claustrophobic down there, but if it's a giant warehouse, then why would we be claustrophobic? No.
And she, so she takes you out and is like, I understand it's maybe a little shocking that we have this much space down here. We've been expanding, but and you when you turn back around, you can see that the elevator actually comes down like it's like a pillar coming down out of this. Out of kind of like the ceiling. So, and it stops down here and there's just like there's space kind of behind it. And then it just kind of goes out from there.
I just
says,
no. I'm like, I see the donations are by the square foot.
Yes. Even in this society, you have no idea how expensive something like an operation like this is. This is no. Beyond all that, please let me show you around. And
what is the lighting like down here?
It's fairly like it's good. Like you can see things really well down here. Most of so everything seems to be organized into racks and displays. Lit cases and things like that. And once she takes you into the like racks and rows of things that are down here, you start to understand why she talked about the whole claustrophobic thing, because while the ceiling is high and there is lots of space overhead, inside of the rows of things, it's the way they visualize the where they have the memory like crystals in Harry Potter.
The Department of Mysteries.
It feels like the warehouse of an IKEA, but worse.
Yeah. It's the rows themselves feel like even like everything that they have on display is easy to see and it's well lit, but it still kind of confines you. Like you get down in there and you feel trapped, even though you know that there's plenty of space around you. Both of you guys give me legend rolls.
Question.
Yep.
Did Kurama get a chance to go with them?
Yeah, Kurama's there. He's watching.
Okay.
4.
I was like, Ken can see him, but I mean, because he's my twin. But unless he decides he wants you to see him, no one's gonna see him but Ken.
I noted how Ken was leaning on his cane a bit more to make sure there was ample time. Him to scamper along with the situation.
That effect, you notice this actually even more so than anything else. And once you like get down in there and you're actually feeling it, it clues into you exactly what's going on. The effect, the feeling of being trapped is some sort of enchantment upon the entire room. and you're fairly certain it was done by some other. If not actually a god, some other Scion or something to that effect, channeling some god's power, because it feels like that kind of magic. You've experienced this. Well, have you been there in these?
I don't think Nate's ever actually been there.
Okay, so
He's met several of its denizens, but I don't think he's ever actually been there because, technically speaking, even if you're a godling, living things aren't supposed to go down there.
Right. Okay, so being in this room feels like being around your dad when he's angry. Because so it like very specifically it feels like very specifically it feels oppressive, and like I said, it makes you kind of feel like you're trapped down there, but specifically to you it reeks of chthonic magic and chthonic power.
So it doesn't necessarily feel to Ken like his mom's mad at him.
No, it does not feel like that at all. It doesn't feel like death magic or anything like that. It just feels very oppressive. Like if you're down here, it's pretty likely that you're not going to escape unless you're following the rules.
Just as a reminder, and I'm sure other people have similar things, I've had my glasses on this whole time, so dim light obscured dead things come through. So,
that's a good point.
If we've seen anything that was a ghoul, I think kings as like
I do remember you putting them on.
affected.
Ghouls wouldn't necessarily ping for dead things because they're not dead.
Sure.
Ghosts would, of course. You don't see anything like that down here. But you don't have magic vision like Tony or like Jay does, correct?
Correct. Mine is you're correct. Ghosts, as well as dead bodies, and also darkness, which lets me through pitch blackness, and then sun, which lets me see through dim that would otherwise. So
right.
Those are the three spectrums of filter.
Okay. Yeah. No. So neither of you are picking up on any sort of dead things or ghosts or things like that. She is very clearly not a vampire. She is, as far as you can tell, she is just human. She's just queen bitch of this place. So, and has enough charisma to make you guys just kind of, respect her authority. And so says, no, please follow me, and I'll show you some of the more interesting pieces we have. And as she's guiding you around, your ichor is just pinging all over the place. Like you are walking by things in cases, and you're like, that belonged to somebody. That belonged to somebody else. Is that Apollo's boat? No, okay, it's not. But it looks like it might have been somebody who he gave to one of his kids.
Mm-hmm.
And it is pretty well grouped. You're almost certain that everything down here that isn't like, that isn't just some absurdly expensive piece of equipment, or like there are literal like military vehicles that are down here that are like, as they said, they acquired a bunch of stuff from the Smithsonian. So there's some stuff down in here that is like stuff from the Air and Space Museum and things like that. So, high ceilings and everything. But aside from all of those like larger things, you're not entirely certain that there isn't anything down here that isn't a birthright of some sort. You're not entirely certain as to how strong any of them are, or who they all belong to, or what where they got them from. But they're pretty well grouped up by pantheon. They're pretty well grouped up by God in specific, even if it's not it's not overtly stated, but you get to a section of stuff that looks like it's artifacts from, can you get to a section of stuff that looks like it's artifacts from the Far East? And there is a whole area dedicated to your mom that, again, doesn't have any sort of labels. It's just historical artifacts, like, a mask with a label plate on it. And you're like, well, that thing works exactly like my glasses. I'm almost certain of it.
Nate doesn't something else ready to go. I will actually engage with what's her name? Emily?
Amelia,
yeah. I'd be like, hey, for your handle of the Nipponese language, quite excellent. I'm wondering if perhaps there's something here you find particularly exciting.
I don't. What do you mean by by what metric? There's many exciting pieces here in our collection.
Also, Japanese.
And she says also, I speak.
English.
She says also, I fluently speak in north of 20 languages. So.
Oh, a polyglot! Delightful.
It is it, and she kind of smirks and bows a little bit at that. It is a talent.
Oh, is it?
I drop into some Yiddish and talk about how it must make for better negotiations. Must be much easier then.
Yeah, she fires back in. Is Yiddish a language that she would know? Probably
she
not.
She lives in New York and she speaks this many languages.
Yeah, I mean,
probably straight up Hebrew though.
Right?
Yeah, she's a. Yeah, okay. No, I'll give it to her. Yeah, yeah. She fires back that yes, it definitely makes conversing with people who are adding things to our collection much easier.
Because yeah, I was sort of fishing for, is this an academic or is this practical? So that
Or are you stealing people's shit?
Yeah,
I mean, that's all museums are, is other people stealing other people's shit. So
Yeah, but I feel like they're like specifically stealing a specific type of shit. So
or whoever.
I don't know how to explain it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll see, because obviously there's definitely some either Titan or Scion in addition to vampires.
Could you
imagine a
they're not add to the fun.
But either way, I'd be like, well, yes, agreed. Items here, and I sort of largely gesture to the Far East sector, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure we could spend days down here, which I still need to get to a lunch. What's something that you find particularly engaging that we could start with?
She says, "Oh, well, let me see here.
Perhaps a new acquisition that was hard to come by, or sort of a capstone in this particular collection."
Well, yes, I can show you something. And she guides you. She walks you all over to a. Let's see here.
Yeah, Nate has stopped talking because he is like basically focusing on the weird one of us energy. trying to figure out what that is.
Give me an awareness plus legend roll.
Because
Nate, you probably would know that Ken can lock her up deftly if you want to wander away. You know, or vice versa, because, well, I'll get to that in a second if it...
Like, if you guys walk away, it's not that Nate wanders off, he just doesn't follow you. Because he's just kind of...
She's she says, well, this was something that is interesting, and she points over here.
Oh, wait, I got one.
You got one? Okay, that's good. She says, and she guides you over and points you to a fishing pole, like a fly fishing pole that is sitting in the case there. And this particular thing was owned, or this particular item was owned by a master Japanese whaler, and it has on the she goes into like the whole history of it and everything like that, and how it goes with the rumor has it that the man caught a whale like using this rod, not just on his ship, but using the rod. You notice from everything that the reel has the 3 teardrop symbol of Hachiman on it, who is the Japanese lord of fishing nets, fertile fields, and war. So yeah, you're starting to get a symbol, an idea of what's going on here. But she says, yes, we were able to acquire it from a family who had the rod after their grandfather, who owned it and presumably caught a whale with it. As she kind of laughs about it a little bit. And we acquired it, we acquired it for our collection. Mr. Landau is very thorough in his investigations with these things, and always likes to have items with story attached to them.
So, is this under glass, or is it like?
Yeah, it's under glass.
How is it like 5 pieces of glass over a table sort of thing, or does it have like the?
No, everything is in like shell. It's kind of like shelving units, where where this particular rod is, there are other items on the shelf, like a lit shelf in there, and then underneath it there is another shelf, and then above it there's another shelf, and things like that. They go only so high as to where you can still like look at it and see the nameplates and everything. None of these things go all the way up to the ceiling. That's mostly, again, the size of the room is mostly to house the larger objects.
So hard there.
So, and as far as being able to examine the piece, is it like, yes, you can get your nose right up on that glass and that's all you get? Or is there a simple way to access it? Or what's the vibe?
No, it doesn't look like, it looks like it'd be kind of hard to get into that case without smudging the glass.
Sure.
But also everything seems like it looks like it's all under lock and key, and that you'd be able to slide open if you needed to get in there and like handle the objects, you'd be able to slide the glass open.
All right. So is it like not hermetically sealed? How thick is that glass, would you say? Is it like thick, or is it just like, no, this is glass, don't touch it?
How many C's stick?
It's glass, don't touch it.
Okay, cool.
Because they assume that the other bits of security are well enough.
Cool.
Real quick, we'll pause on that for a second. Nate, so you are trying to focus in on that feeling that you're getting. And you got one success.
I got one.
So the feeling is he's definitely emanating from. You know that it's emanating from a point in the room. It's a little bit hard to really narrow down on it, but you see that there are like pillars up around the room, and it kind of feels like it's coming from, if not all of them, at least one of them. Like pillars holding, like they're holding up the ceiling and everything like that.
Well, if she's occupied talking to Chatty Cathy over there, and also,
real quick, are you doing anything? Are you doing anything legend-wise to like keep her enthralled with you, or are you?
So, not yet. But if I see Nate's like eyes flicker, like off, like if I see that cat sense that they're done with whatever's happening here, I will absolutely lock eyes and hit Serpent's Gaze and just be like, "Oh, as far as the provenance," and just keep her.
Okay, fair enough. I just didn't know if you had a plan for that. That's fine.
So yeah, so I'll burn that one point of legend to lock her up. So get at it, Nate.
Yeah, Nate kind of wanders over to wherever the closest pillar is.
Okay. Yeah, you're wandering through kind of these. Like you can see the pillars. Getting them is a little bit more difficult because there's all these shelves and everything in the way. And yeah, as you get to the closest one, that feeling just kind of intensifies. Give me another awareness plus legend roll. Okay. So you get up to one of the pillars here, and it's, it mostly just looks like a regular concrete pillar, which it feels weird. It's like, no, this doesn't look right. And you reach out and you put your hand on it, and it feels like you're touching, you're holding on to your vape. Like it has you touch it and it doesn't feel like concrete. First of all, it feels smooth, and it feels like it feels like it's cold, and it feels like it's great. You're grasping the what do you call it? It's the jewel of Tartarus. The jewel of Elysium. Yeah.
Interesting.
And then go ahead and give me a investigation plus perception. Perception plus investigation check.
One, two, three, 4, 5.
Oh, okay, good. As you're kind of rubbing your hands around the outside of this thing, and you're feeling it, you do feel several distinct bumps that it's like it's smooth, and then you run your hands over something that feels like it's like a cameo, where it's like carved into the stone like that. And it's kind of hard to make out. And you are eventually able to kind of work your hands around, and you can feel, and it.
It's a good thing no one's looking. Over here just being
like rubbing all over this. You're like rubbing all over this.
These columns are so Doric.
Unbutton a couple buttons, Nate.
So Doric.
You'll get some good skin contact on it.
Yeah. But it takes you a few moments. but you eventually can make out the fact that there is a relief picture of Cerberus on this pole, on this pillar. And you're 100% certain this, whatever this oppressive nature, this oppressive thing is coming from, just emanating, just pouring out of this pillar.
Because it's watching you. That's interesting.
Yeah. You're also pretty certain that this shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Like, for real. Like, you're almost 100% certain that if your dad knew that it was here, that he would probably burn this place to the fucking ground. And it's kind of surprising that he doesn't know it's here.
I mean, I know it's here now.
It's true.
Wow.
I'm gonna burn it to the fucking ground.
Hey.
Like as soon as Nate figures that out, he kind of wanders back over to Ken, and like I think we've gotten a good sense. I think you can tell that these are real, right?
I hear that from Nate, and I'm like, and so I pointedly break eye contact to look over at Nate. Oh well, I would never question.
Authenticity.
Thank you. The authenticity of the items, especially with such care. Although, I would love an opportunity. This just a little more, even if just from here. Perhaps there's a section that you had some interest in while I take it in.
Nate is trying, like, he's giving you like eyebrows and like the hey, we should leave face. Like, no, I think that we have done what we needed to do here. Like, he's
We're supposed to be somewhere for lunch.
yeah.
Right.
Don't forget your students who are still upstairs.
I need to eat so I can go take my back pill.
The car is parked badly.
Doctor benefits. Like,
Yeah.
I relent. Like, I've just been told I can't play with these toys, which is not a deceit at all. And I'm like, thank you, Mr. Tozier. Practical as always. Yes, I suppose Usagi and Shinji may have. Hope they haven't gotten into trouble unattended. Are rambunctious young children.
So, Adam, just a thing. When you say that, when you're like, "Oh, we should go," Amelia kind of looks crestfallen because you're a big donor, and she was kind of really excited to like show you some stuff, and all she's done is talk to this dude. So,
Nate would not pick up on that.
yeah. But she's like, "Oh, well, yes, then we can head out. I mean, I know we've only been here for a short time, and we haven't even gotten over to the. I would love to show you the Roman collection."
As she says that, I pull out the pocket watch and sort of hold it over the drawer, like that's just where I'm looking at it. And I look over at Nate, and I'm like, 5 minutes? If not, I absolutely understand. Punctuality.
And Nate kind of looks at you for a second, and he's like, 5. 5.
And I hold the watch like as if you could see the face, and I'm like, 5. And then I click it closed, and I slide it into the pocket, and I'm just like, switch locked in on this drawer as if it will start talking to me.
She's looking at you like, I would love to show you the Roman collection.
I mean, if it means that she'll be distracted so that Ken can look at the thing that he wants to look at, then yeah, fine.
Yeah, okay.
Nate's like, yeah, okay, show it to me. Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh yay! Love to see the Roman.
Nate entirely lost interest because he wants to get the fuck out. He knows that something bad has happened. Like he's like, the juju here is
No good.
no. We need to let people know that the juju is no. We got folks upstairs still.
Okay, so you're distracting her. Ken, what are you actually doing?
All right, I am using the Wakeful Spirit, the Kumugami. First dot in Charisma plus Presence. As soon as I hear the clack fall of those power heals far enough away that I know that whispers can't be heard easily, I will talk to this rod and coax out its spirit.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm going to whisper to this rod. I'm going to get right up on it.
That's right.
Tell me your secrets, Rod.
I'm going to see what
Put
this
on
is.
the relays to Ari.
Yeah.
Being weird with rods again.
Yeah, Rama's been sitting on your head this whole time, and it's just like, you know, giving you that, like, voice, silently giving off the vibe that it's like Ari wouldn't approve of any of this.
Well, the creepy Jimmy Choo lady wanted to show me her rod, so it's only respectful that I take some time with this rod. So let's see here. 3. All right, cool. So yeah, capture the attention of the spirit of the inanimate object and speak to it for a few minutes.
Okay.
When I do, it takes anthropomorphic features. Grains of wood of door, for instance, might flow into the shape of a face.
Now I'm just imagining this rod with this kawaii face with the little like
It's
oval,
right.
like pink oval.
just got like sweat drops, like giant.
Yeah. It has a W mouth.
There you go.
Unremarkable, unimportant objects have dim-witted, semi-conscious spirits, whereas unique objects, which people form emotional attachments, are eloquent, knowledgeable, and charming.
Mhm.
I can get information the spirit has directly experienced. The older and more interesting the object is, the farther back and more clearly its spirit can remember key information. Consider it rude if they talk about ongoings of other spirits. If the spirits in question are doing their jobs properly. Also, most don't pay much attention to their surroundings unless something truly unusual happens. Okay, so let me roll the Charisma plus Presence. Why are you sick? Why?
Hey Jay, real quick, just something to point out, because you guys have been looking around for a while now, while everything's been going on down there. You said you were looking around with your magic site, and the thing that you are noticing that is very absent from this place, knowing that it has something to do with at least one of the other vampires, is any particular lack of any of those, like Tzimisce or Tzimisce Tremere barriers that you've seen around.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like looking out for those, you do not see those anywhere for whatever reason. They're not using that magic to block off any of this place.
Interesting.
I probably just spent a bunch of time sitting and chatting up the janitor.
Yeah, getting in.
Oh yeah, no. The janitor is a very kindly old fellow.
And I tell him, oh, sit and relax for a while. I can give you some snacks. I got some snacks.
His name is Herschel. And he is an old Jewish man, and he thinks you are the prettiest thing he's ever seen, and he talks about how much he just, he enjoys sweeping and cleaning and everything like that. It's solid work.
They're working so hard here. Don't you have some help?
I don't really have to clean much, and I just need to sweep up, get the dust, and they pay me really well. They pay me way better than any other place in the city would ever pay me.
Do they let you go everywhere?
Oh yeah, I got the key cards and all those things so that we can get where they need. I can get where I need to go, but I just do the cleaning.
But this is a respectable profession.
Why wouldn't it be?
Mm.
You got to keep things clean, right? My wife keeps things clean at home, or well, she did, but
oh no!
That made me feel sad.
oh no, don't worry. No. It's like no. She's not like dead or anything like that. She just got really lazy.
Oh well. All right then.
She's been sleeping for the last 8 years. She got real lazy. Starting to smell in there.
This whole
my ass.
She figured out how to use the internet, and then everything went to shit. And then she decided that it wasn't important to clean the bedroom anymore.
Why? Well, I suppose that's unfortunate, though. Have you ever met the person that owns this place?
Oh, Mr. Landau. Yeah. He's the one who hired me, actually.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yeah, hell of a nice guy, honestly. Really, he always treats me really well. On my anniversary, my work anniversary every year, he buys me one of these just delightful sandwiches that's from across town. I can't get to the old delis like I used to. My legs don't work quite as good as they used to, so I don't like walking that far over town. But he knows the exact place that I love to eat, and he gets the right amount of pastrami, and it's so good.
Somewhere in this conversation with this poll, Ken's inner yuts is suddenly torn. Missing vital information somewhere.
I actually ask, how does one get hired at a place like this?
You just have to have a good reputation and not ask a whole lot of questions.
Yes, that's
and also have a good work ethic. Young people don't have as good a work ethic today as they used to. Back in my day of 2000.
That's it. 2000.
Oh, he's just an old millennial.
Yeah, he's an old millennial.
Oh man! Wow.
Now Herschel is really sad.
Okay, millennial.
You're right.
But this is such there's such security measures here. It does seem like there's more than there used to be, though. Was there any sort of break-ins or something else?
It goes back and forth. Sometimes it's heavy, sometimes it's light.
Oh.
But so yeah, it seems like it's about 10. It's a little after 10:15. Let's finish up, Tony, with your little conversation here with this poll. And
do you want to make a note of that and we'll call it?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. We'll start off a next session with you talking to a fishing pole, and her taking you over to look at the Roman collection, and the three of you upstairs looking around and doing a little bit more of your stuff and talking to Herschel.
Yeah, I honestly, I think my next move is going to see if I can get myself invited to the house to help around there.
Oh, invited over to help clean the house? Yeah.
I was like, Ari's next move is trying to tip cameras to create blind spots.
Yeah.
We'll figure about this shit out. I'm spotting trash cans to set fire in them. There's.
Yes.
All right, we'll do. It's been a few weeks, so we'll do 3XP, and we will meet again the next Monday that I have off, and hopefully I'll be a little more on my game, so I can.
Oh man, believe me, this is
It's all good, brother.